Hello everyone and welcome to a video that I am very excited to finally be putting together for you all for many reasons. The first and foremost being that this has been requested from you guys. Many of you have asked me to do a video just kind of based around being a YouTuber, what does a day look like for you, and also what are some tips and tricks to not only getting started with working from home and on YouTube, but also just in general some tips and tricks that I have learned along the way. I have been doing this not as a full-time job, but started off as a hobby for the first couple of years and then turned into a full-time job these past few years here. I've been on YouTube officially for 7 years, over 7 years, which is insane to think about, but like I said, these past few years have really been me figuring out how to make this my full-time job, and I personally love it, and I am very excited to share some tips with you guys. I'm also very excited because a part of my daily routine involves a certain thing, and they wanted to sponsor this video, so thank you so much to Audible. I am very excited to have them on board as a sponsor for this video and hopefully future ones as well. They are a wonderful company that I am sure many of you have heard about before. I think a lot of you guys know I'm a huge reader. I love reading. I have books that I have read more than probably 10 times each. Like, I just love reading, and I wish I had more time in the day to read, but Audible definitely helps me out in that area. Be it while I'm running errands, for my YouTube channel, like the post office, going to Target, going to Ulta, whatever it might be for the day, or cooking around the house, cleaning around the house. It's just nice to actually be listening to something worth listening to, you know what I mean? Instead of just having on frivolous background noises, like actually have on a background noise that you actually aren't listening to in the background, like you're actually listening to it while you're getting other stuff done. And even though, like I said, many of you have probably heard of Audible, I don't know if any of you have heard of Audible Escape. It is a monthly subscription, a part of Audible, that provides unlimited listening to thousands of love stories. You guys also know, if you've watched my channel here, I've been on a bit of a love journey this past year, like trying to find love and dating and all that again. So even though it's not working out for me in real life, hey, at least I can get my love fix in romance novels and just the romance genre in general. I personally have been listening to one of my favorite books. I loved it growing up. I have always been a huge fan of Sarah Dessen. She is a young adult author, and she has written some of my favorite books. They're very easy reads, but they're very charming. They're very endearing, all of them. The plot lines and the characters are very relatable and that sort of a thing. So I have been listening to this Lullaby specifically, which is my favorite book that she has written, and it's been wonderful. I don't think I've read that book in at least a few years now, so it's been really nice listening to it again and getting to re-know the characters and all of that. Audible Escape provides unlimited listening to love stories for only $12.95 a month. You can join the Audible Escape community for free by going and visiting my link that I will have in the description down below. For free for 1 month, yay! You can download the app as well and explore all of the love stories available on Audible Escape by going to audible.com/thriftfic. Get started now! Go! Escape your sometimes mundane everyday life and listen to a lovely love story. So, all of that aside, my biggest tips for working at home and also for doing YouTube. First off, you can't start your YouTube channel. I mean, you can, but I feel like it is best if you start your YouTube channel off without the expectations. I don't want to say don't start it without the hopes of, but like definitely not the expectation of it becoming your job. I think you really do have to do YouTube as a hobby and as something you enjoy, as a passion first, because trust me, the minute it turns into a job, if you don't like it, you're not going to keep up with it. Like, there's no one that is holding you accountable for these videos. There is no one forcing you to make them. So if you don't enjoy doing it, chances are you're not going to, and even if you do force yourself to in the end, people aren't going to enjoy watching those videos. So first and foremost, I would just highly recommend starting YouTube as a hobby and see where it goes. See if you even enjoy doing it. I mean, for me, it just continued to be a huge space for passion and joy for me while I was going to grad school and going through a really hard time just with my mental health and everything. Like, it was such a good outlet making YouTube videos and just keeping my sanity and having that little bit of outside creativity in my life. And then the fact that it was able to turn into a job for me, I'm so grateful. Like, I feel like that's kind of the dream, right? Like, you find your passion in life and then you're able to make a career off of it, make a living off of it. So give YouTube a trial first. I think now YouTube, it has since been implemented. I mean, this is like at least a year ago now, but I think you have to be making videos consistently for like at least a month or 3 months before they'll even monetize your videos. So I guess that's kind of a good incentive to start anyways, that you're not going to get paid right away. But in any case, it does take time to build up your YouTube channel, especially if you're going to be in a community like the beauty and fashion community like I am here. It's just a very saturated community, so it can be very slow going, but if it's something you enjoy, the people will come. You will attract the energy that you put out into the universe. At least I like to believe that. But once you've figured out what your genre is that you are going to focus in, because trust me, I have tried making a channel that's like all over the place. People don't like it. People like for things to be very specifically focused, you know? Like, if you want to do vlogging and beauty and mystery unboxings and this and that, like, you know, many of these things are things that I enjoy doing, make separate channels for them, because people like the focused content, because the people watching your channel are not necessarily going to be interested in all of those facets of your life, and many of the people watching your channel are going to be subscribed to many other channels, and they don't want your content that they don't enjoy clogging up their subscription feed. So stay consistent, set a schedule, find out when you are the most productive and when you work the best. You know, if you're a night owl, work at night. That's fine. You can do that. If you are a daytime person or an early riser, work in the morning. Just work your schedule around when you feel the most creative and when your best juices are flowing. Mine are personally in the afternoon going into the evening, so I try and get all of my extraneous work, is that what you would call it? Basically the things that I would use Audible to fill in the empty space in my life with, you know, if I'm working out, if I am cooking, cleaning, that sort of stuff. I try and delegate that stuff into the morning time, because I know I'm not productive in the morning in terms of my work, be it with filming or editing. I don't like doing it in the morning, so I do other things in the morning. You know, you work around these things, but you have to set, you don't have to, but like, you really should set a schedule for yourself and stick to it. It's really hard being your own boss. It really is. But you gotta do it. You gotta be strict with yourself and say, no, I have to film from noon to 2 today. I have to. I need to make these videos, and that is when I'm going to do it. I mean, obviously you can allow yourself some wiggle room, but like, it's good to stick to a schedule, because it can be so easy to fall into the trap of like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. No, you won't. You won't. And if you do, it'll be rushed. You're not going to want to do it tomorrow just as much as you don't want to do it today, whatever it is. So just set those times for yourself that you're going to film, that you're going to edit, you know, the time that you're not going to be on your phone, that you're not going to be browsing the internet, but you are going to be working. Also, like I said, like, being a boss is hard. It is hard when you work from home to set an alarm, but oh my gosh, you guys, it is so important to set an alarm, because it's real easy to be like, I'm going to sleep in today because I can sleep in today. No, don't do it. Don't fall into that trap. Set an alarm, set a schedule for yourself. Like I said, I am a night person, but I have tried so hard to shift my schedule so that I'm like more of a real human in society type of a thing, and going to bed before midnight instead of going to bed at 4 in the morning or whatever. Set an alarm for yourself. Make sure you're waking up. Make sure you are getting out of bed every day. It is also really helpful to make your bed every day, even if you are not a bed maker, because it can be so tempting during the day to be like, I'm just gonna crawl in bed and just take a little nap. Or like, if you finally do get up and then you go make breakfast and you're like, I'm still tired, I'm just gonna go lay in bed and look at my phone. You're gonna fall asleep. You will. And you will crawl back into bed because it is comfy and you do love it there. So just make your bed, even if it's like a little toss together, you know, throw all your pillows up at the top and just throw your sheets over to, like, it's very motivating to have your bed made. Trust me, I'm not a bed maker, but I always make my bed for those reasons. That being said, with your bed and everything, it is, I have found anyways, so very important to separate your workspace from your living space, because I mean, you want to take, you know, your laptop or your phone or whatever into bed with you and scroll through your Twitter, scroll through Instagram, or like watch a YouTube video on your laptop while you're in bed, like trying to fall asleep or whatever the case is. Don't do it. I personally have gotten so good about not bringing work into bed with me, and it has made the world's difference. It has just been the mostest for me. It is so nice. I never bring my laptop into bed anymore, I don't think. I just don't want to. I don't want to bring work energy into my resting energy space. So I have my one spot on the couch that I edit on, and even that, it's a little thing, but it can make a huge difference. I never sit in that same spot when I'm editing as I do when I'm relaxing. I always sit in a different place to separate those things, and I know it seems so minuscule and minute, but it makes a world of a difference, and I would just highly recommend it. Also, you know, keeping this filming space separate from my bed area has also been a big help. It just is nice to not like roll out of bed and feel like I need to be filming, because that used to be where I filmed most of my stuff. Like now it's like I have a very set place that I film for the most part, and it just feels more professional, I suppose. And it does make a world of a difference. Also, just with doing YouTube, at least specifically, I'm not sure if it's the same for other jobs at home, I feel like it could be though, is that you're sitting a lot, you know, be it editing, be it filming. Most of the time, chances are you are sitting, and for me, I used to be so much more active. I mean, be it during grad school or college or high school even, you know, like all of my jobs and stuff, waitressing and whatnot, retail, it's very much like a walking type of a job. YouTube is not that, so I have found it to be so important to prioritize getting up and moving. My Fitbit, which I know I have been not wearing much lately, but I have gotten back on board with it, has been so helpful. I mean, it's not necessary that you buy a Fitbit, but I have found it to be very helpful. You can do it so that it will vibrate at you every hour to get up and move, so that you get your steps in every day. I mean, it can just be so easy to get caught up in editing and like not even notice that a few hours have gone by and you haven't moved an inch. That is terrifying when my Fitbit tells me I took a nap during the day, when I did not take a nap. It's just because I was sitting there and I edit with my right hand, so my left hand wasn't moving, so my Fitbit thinks I took a freaking nap. Like, that is not okay with me. So just making sure that you're getting up and moving, even if it's just to like pace back and forth in your hall, it just gets your blood flowing, it gets your juices going again, you know, creatively and everything. It's just important to incorporate exercise, even if it is a very small amount of it, like walking. And also like getting up and out of your place, like even if it's just to take out the recycling, take out the trash, take a little walk around the neighborhood, like a 10-minute walk. Like, it is so good to do. It is hard to remind yourself at first, but make it a habit. Trust me, you will be grateful. And my next points here are to plan ahead and write things down. Oh my goodness, you guys. I mean, I've always been a bit of a planner user, but I don't feel like I used to do it as extensively as I do now. Like before, it's like you get into a routine, you know, I always work at this job from this time to this time on these days of the week, and you know, you get into a routine where you don't need to write things down as much. When it comes to doing your own job type of a thing, working at home, YouTube, it is so important to write things down, be it to-do lists, be it schedules, be it appointments, like just do it for your own sanity. Trust me, it helps so much to have things written out on paper rather than just jumbled around in your brain, because even as much as you can remember these things, it's just nice to be able to have it laid out on paper. You can see your week, even if they are like abstract ideas. I mean, you know, with my planner, I'll have my videos laid out for the week, but I don't always end up posting those videos that week. You know, something else might come up, or I ended up being more interested in something else. Like, just so long as you have a vague idea of your concept of the week is so helpful, instead of going into each week being like, what are my videos gonna be? What am I gonna be doing on this day? It just keeps your brain less scrambled, and then it also ends up motivating you to get certain things done, to have deadlines for yourself, and just overall be more motivated about your schedule. Like, get excited about the things that are gonna be coming up, about the videos that you're gonna be filming. And also with that, you know, be prepared for sick days. Like, you are not infallible. You are gonna get sick from time to to time, especially like living at home and working at home. And then like the few times that you venture out into the world, your immune system's gonna be like, what is this? What are these outside germs? And you're gonna get sick. I've always been pretty proud about my immune system, but I feel like since working from home, it has gotten much weaker, just not being as exposed to these things. So just plan ahead for sick days. Like always make sure you have a few videos on deck, on board, waiting, so that if you do have to take a week off, like being sick, like you can't film for a week, at least you still have a week's worth of videos that you can edit and whatnot on your own time while you're sick, and you can still put up. I get really stressed out when I don't have at least 3 videos planned ahead and like ready to go, and that just helps me rest better at night. And then writing things down, like for me anyways, I find it nice to have separate notebooks for everything. Like I've got a notebook that I just write down my product testing and like how I felt about certain products. I've got a notebook for my planner. I've got a notebook of just to-do lists. I've got a notebook of just video ideas and that sort of a thing. It's just nice to keep them all separated, but then also, you know, when these ideas ping up into your head, you just jot them down. And it's just good because every now and then you will forget that good idea, and then you will go back into your book and be like, oh my god, I totally forgot that I had thought about that. Like that is an excellent video idea. I should film it. Same thing with your taxes. Do not let those go to the wayside. I personally highly recommend, if you are like me and, you know, in high school and stuff, they don't educate you on the tax system and how to do your taxes, especially not as a business owner. I would highly recommend getting someone to do your taxes for you. I know it's a bit more expensive than doing it on your own and everything, but at least then you don't have to worry about the tax people coming to your door and being like, excuse me, we need to take everything you own and your cats because you did this wrong. You owe us tax money and now we own you. That's how it plays out in my head, and it just keeps me motivated, you know, to do things quarterly. The peace of mind that an actual professional is doing my taxes, they are doing things right, and then it just keeps me on track as well, because you have to set aside money when you run your own business to make sure you're paying those taxes. You know, I didn't really realize this. I mean, I knew that my jobs before always took money out of my paycheck, and then, you know, you get a tax return and stuff, but when you run your own business, no one does that to you. So you have to take your own money out of your own paychecks. Like just always make sure you have money set aside. And that's the same thing with like even going into YouTube as a job. I would just recommend making sure that your income based off of just YouTube ads is enough to sustain you. Like don't rely on sponsorships, because for me anyways, it's very sporadic. I can go like 3-4 months and not get one sponsorship offer that even interests me or even comes in. Like sometimes it is very rare that I'll get an offer, and then sometimes, like I feel like this summer especially, I've been getting quite a few sponsorship offers, which is great and I'm so appreciative, but you never know when those are going to come in, and so you can't rely on those for your income. Those are just an extra added bonus, I would personally say. But I also think it's important to build good relationships with those brands if they are brands that you actually enjoy and want to incorporate into your videos. It makes sense to incorporate them into your videos so that you can build that trust with your audience as well, because I feel like that is more important than anything, is just to make sure that the people that watch you trust you, you know, or else they're not going to watch your videos. They are coming to you for your opinions and for your experiences. Like make sure those are truthful and honest and really coming from a place of not needing money, but a place of just like, this is something I actually use and this is something I actually enjoy. Like, let me tell you about it type of thing. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just good to make sure you keep your relationships good on all sides of things, be it personal and business and otherwise. And last but not least, just with being your own boss and everything, it's a rough one, but you gotta be hard on yourself. You've gotta be able to be tough on yourself, not too hard. You're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna have slip-ups, things are gonna happen, but just hold yourself accountable. You have to be ready to be your boss. You have to be able to make yourself do things, you know? There are plenty of times in the, you know, real world when you've got a real job or an outside job anyways, and you don't wanna go to work that day. But your workplace is relying on you to be there and you want to keep your job. So you go into work and you do your job. You know what I mean? You have to force yourself to do that. Even though it is easier to crawl into bed, or it is easier to watch a YouTube video on your computer on the couch and just veg all day. Some days you have to work when you don't want to, and you just have to be firm with yourself, be a boss, and know that all things are going to be good. if you get your work done. You can have your relaxation time. And I think that is also something too. You need to be able to, as much as you force yourself to work, you also have to force yourself to relax. That is one of the biggest obstacles for me anyways with YouTube, is that I find it very hard to allow myself to relax. I am usually working mostly constantly. I don't take a day off. I work 7 days a week, even if it is just 20 minutes for one day. Like, I am always working on something. And for me, I feel lucky enough in that my work is something that I enjoy, so it's not as big of a deal. But just those days where I do only work 20 minutes, like, that to me is relaxing, you know? Like, I'm used to working constantly, so to give myself the rest of the day outside of those 20 minutes, like, that is huge. I've had to force myself to do that, but it feels so good, and you come back to your work more energized. So even if it is hard to not be working on something, like, but oh, I could do this, but oh, I could do this. If it's not due, if you don't have to do it, let yourself breathe. Let yourself relax. Let yourself take that walk around the block. Let yourself read that book, listen to that audio book, and do your cross stitch. Like, let yourself recharge, step away, and refresh. It is so important. And trust me, the viewers will notice. I feel like you guys always let me know when you're like, Cassie, you look a little stressed, or like, you look a little this or that. And it's like, yes, I haven't taken a break for a while, and I really should. Thank you. So, end of the video, moral of the story, thank you guys. Like, I really am, I'm always so appreciative just of you guys. It's, like I think I said earlier, you know, this is a dream come true to be able to find something I'm passionate about in life and to have people supporting that passion of mine. Like, it means more to me than words could ever say, and I am so beyond appreciative. So thank you guys for being a part of why I've been able to have my dreams come true. Thank you to Audible for being wonderful and wanting to sponsor this video. I appreciate it. Again, if you guys want to check out the Audible Escape portion of Audible, definitely check out my link. I will have everything down below, audible.com/thriftthick on the screen here. Show the sponsor that you came from my video. You can get something out of it by getting your free month of audiobooks, and the sponsor gets something out of it because then they know that the sponsorship was worth it, and then I get something out of it, hopefully, in that it's a continued sponsor. I mean, it just, you help them, help me, like, it just all is a big happy circle. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. I hope this video was helpful in just a few little things that I have learned over the years here. Let me know down in the comments below if you are an aspiring YouTuber, or if you are an aspiring business owner, or if you already are those things. Let me know what your biggest tips and tricks are in the comments down below, so that not only I can gain some of that knowledge and information, but other people can too if they end up reading your comment. It is very helpful. I know that I appreciate it. You can also let me know if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful by giving it a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you are new here, hey, hi, hello, how are you? You can go ahead and subscribe. You can tippity tap that notification bell down below. Become a member of my casserole family here on my channel. I would love to have you here. And as always, I just hope you guys are all doing well. And until next time, just stay well until then. Bye!